with sickness and pain any longer. Join us March 26th for our monthly miracle service and receive your miracle.
Welcome to Fight for Life, a pro-life radio show discussing the ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, board member and executive director of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
And I'm Jessica, logistics specialist at First Choice Pregnancy Services.
We are ambassadors for the unborn. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Fight for Life friends. Thanks for joining us today. This is Jess and Celeste. We're your ambassadors on behalf of unborn babies everywhere, and we're here to share insights and real-life stories of what we've experienced in this Fight for Life.
We are kicking off our broadcast with a weekly update so you can stay connected to the First Choice Ministry and how many lives are affected by your support. From March 9th to March 15th of 2023, First Choice provided 70 pregnancy tests and 46 ultrasounds to our clients. The patients we serve are mainly abortion-bound, but we serve women from all walks of life, and it's very important to reach them with our free services and speak up for their defenseless child. If you'd like to join the conversation, or if you're interested in sponsoring this radio show, call the radio station at 702-650-5588. And today's guest is Grace, who is a nurse here in the Valley. Grace helps us down at First Choice and prays on the streets. Welcome, Grace, and please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I'm honored here. Thank you, and I'm honored that you guys invited me. I've been a nurse for like 20 plus years. I did also volunteer when I was like in high school, back when I was in the Philippines, for the sex trafficking kids.
Wow.
So I did a lot of volunteers in the community mostly, and I think that's where my heart turned me to become a public health nurse. Yeah.
Wow. You don't look old enough to be in
No,
the
she
nursing
doesn't.
field for 20 years.
And she has a twin sister, and they look
Yes, I do.
they're identical.
Oh, wow. When's your birthday? Who was first?
That's a tricky question because they did not put who came out first.
Oh.
So that's the mystery.
Oh, really? Does your mom remember?
So it's like my mom or my dad. Who says who? Yeah.
And they have conflicting stories.
Yes. My dad said me and my mom said her. So.
Oh, how funny. So you said you're a public health nurse, and what does that entail?
So public health nurse, basically, in a nutshell, we are like advocate for like preventative health, and we look at the community, find out like what the community needs and how the community becomes more healthier, so that they can thrive in the society. So we target like high risk population, and in my area, I was focused on pregnant women, teens specifically. Also, I was an advocate for child abuse prevention program, where I train parents to keep their kids. So that's very hard task too, because you see all these different cases, and you feel you're like don't want to be attached, but you get attached to these families, especially the kids. And then that's how I grew and mature in my belief. And it's hard to not involve your moral concept if you're involved with life of kids and the life of a mother, and which is the core in our society, which is family, which I see that it's breaking down.
Wow. How do you see it breaking down?
I see how a lot of the families are being raised by one parent. And most of the time it's the mom who are the one who is doing all the burden. They're the mother, the father, the breadwinner, and they're raising kids. It's hard you're raising humans to be a good contributor to our society, but if you have a very a foundation that is like not strong, or if there's no concept of spiritual as well, then it's just like I see how you'll see a pattern that coexists. Either they go into drugs, they go in to commit crime, or they don't finish schooling. So
Or all of it.
yeah, oh yeah, or all of it. But you can't really like just blame the outcome. You have to look at the root cause and try to solve that, help that, not solve it, but help alleviate that. So
I'm very curious. So we know that fatherlessness is
yeah,
an epidemic in our country.
yes.
So what are some of the ways that you help these single moms?
One of the ways that I've helped, I will just base it to so many ways, but I'll give you an example. I met this teenager. She was 14 years old. But basically, she's an illegal immigrant, and she was forced to come here by her mother. She didn't know. She thought she was gonna come here to go to school, meet her real dad, but she ended up coming here and then go to school, and then the mom said, "Okay, you're on your own," and she found refuge to a man, which is like you can't blame her. She's very young, and then she became pregnant. She was just 15. What do you do? That's when, either you keep the baby, or the concept of that, or take the baby's life, keep it or not. So she doesn't want to, because she has this moral belief that the baby in her tummy is alive. So I met her, empowered her, gave her resources, and I told her this is the time when the program works with like individuals like you, so we don't end up like your kid, go to the same system again. So I gave her how to go to school, how to find a job after that, how to find some ways to get her baby being taken care of, and she did that. And then I told her don't stay in a relationship if it's gonna make her in a very toxic, abusive relationship. And as the time goes, I met her again, and she came to me. I was like it's a fair, and she just hugged me, and I didn't recognize her because she was like a woman now, and she cried to me. She said, thank you, because I decided to keep the baby, and you empowered me. Now I have a job, and my son is going to school. And she didn't end up being in the same situation like others, because
She broke the cycle.
Yeah, she broke the cycle. It just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you can't do all those other things.
That's right.
Yeah. So
I think that's the trending thing right now is I can achieve all my goals and have kids.
Right.
And that's okay.
yeah, but I forgot to answer the question. So basically, I told her like your child needs to have you have to have a support system. You can't just do it alone. So she went and connected with the church, and then she also connected with her relatives that she's close with. So she kept in contact with them that are supportive, basically. And so that entails, and found positive people around her, which is like community groups for moms, and so that helped her. So you can't really do it alone.
Yeah. It's so true. I was a single mom for many years, and I really wish I had that support system that I could count on. I feel like I would have made much better choices if I had that support system now. But it's so important for these single moms to have it.
Yes.
It is.
And I see that now even in my daughter's life as we're trying to get her kids out here and set up a support system out here for her.
Yeah.
So it's just an honor for me to even be a part of that
It
whole
is.
process.
That's why Next Step at First Choice is
Yeah.
so crucial, and we're
Yes.
so proud to have that, because that is such a great support system for these women
Yes.
to come in and be just wrap our arms around them and tell them that we're with you, we stand beside you, and we're here to help you.
Amen. So how did you end up getting involved with the pro-life movement? Because it kind of sounds like what you do as a public health nurse is like a mobile First Choice. It's like a mobile ministry. I love that about what you're doing. So, how did you get involved with the pro-life movement?
I think when I was public health, I was always like into like prevention, and then there was a lady. She was really smart. She was also my colleague, and her conviction is like about the life in the womb, and I didn't understand it. I said, what about if you get raped, and all those like rationales that people bring about. But and then she told me so, and I learned about it, and I was like surprised, like, oh, I'm baffled. I'm a nurse, and I am against the science. That is true. You are right. And then I started looking into standing in front of the like giving handouts to students, like college or high school. So I started teaching health stuff. So I went into a juvenile system where I go and teach young teenagers about preventing like basically abstinence. But then my God's still like telling me, no, you gotta go here, you gotta go here. It's just my conviction. And then one day I moved to San Bernardino, and everything was locked down, and then I went to this church, and a girl next to me said, hey, why don't you go to this church? Is it okay if I say it? It's under Jack Hibbs, and it's Calvary Chapel. So I went there, and I was surprised that they're doing about love life. I was like, oh, people really go to stand there. I thought like you can't. Like, so I was not aware. So, and then they pray, which is what I like. And so I went there one day, and I cried. I was not even embarrassed. I just stood there, and I was crying, and I was like, this is it. This is for me. And because I wanted to save little babies, and that's how it all started. And and then my heart told me to go start one in San Bernardino. And and then they would just go from there. So a big group started. Now they do prayer walks there, and they do. They're gonna start on the same thing that we're gonna start March. It's not March for Life. It's like a Walk for Life. They're gonna do. So it's just when your hearts align with God, I think it becomes easy. You just get all these resources flooding to you. You don't even ask. I didn't even know when I'm gonna be moving here. I felt depressed. God said, no, go back there. That I'm gonna meet a very beautiful souls of like team, which is Celeste, Carl, and the people from the Pregnancy Resource Center. So that was amazing. Just God just gave me the people around, and it's just
Amen.
Blessing. Yeah.
Now Celeste is on the radio with her.
Oh, there's a question.
So we have a question for Grace. Ask how to elaborate on what she was taught about rape.
That is a good question. I actually have encountered very young clients who've been in that situation where caused by incest, So when somebody's hurting you physically without your consent, no matter what stages in life, it feels injustice. So I think, in my opinion, that rape is something physically harming someone, and without their consent, they don't want to be hurt. So in any stages, so that's why it incorporates like because it's outside of the marriage. That's my anything that is sexually immoral that is outside the marriage, to me, consists of rape. because there's no consent. That's just for me. That's my opinion. For example, like harming a kid and hurting a kid for your own pleasure.
So,
that is
Alyssa,
rape.
are you specifically asking about pregnancy in the case of rape? So, what would you do for somebody in that instance if they were to come to you and they're pregnant as a result of a rape?
That's a heavy topic, but I'm gonna give you my own experience. This child, she felt like ending the baby in her womb is her fault. So the rape was her fault. So to me, if we don't give her healing resources to help her medical needs, her support group, and just thinking about just doing the ending part, to me, you need to protect the child first and foremost. You need to protect her, make her feel safe, make sure that person who hurt her is away, locked in jail, not in her life. And then
Because you're a mandated reporter.
Yes.
Right? You would have to notify the authorities.
Yes.
Okay.
and then you need to make sure she has that protection and the medical needs, and then we go to her parents, if she's young, and then physically ask her, consent about, what does she feel about it. Because rape is, there's no consent. And then if you're gonna do it, give her just one choice, and it's actually putting the blame on the one who was the victim.
Right.
I think if you just tell her that's your only option. And I've seen it's hurting for them because they're already blaming themselves. Every victim that I see that was raped, they always blame themselves. They never blame the perpetrator. They hate the perpetrator, but they never blame them. Like subconsciously they would say, like, maybe because I did this, because I did that.
Right.
But they never, it's a hurt that it's gonna last their lifetime. Basically, you just kill the person, not physically, but you just kill their whole humanity.
It just changed them.
It's changed them. And when I was in that position, there's a lot of people involved caring for that child. Legal, the medical team. Also, we incorporate the spiritual needs of the child. And then if it's a minor, we involve the mom and do a lot of. It's a very sensitive case, but then at the end of the day, we make sure she makes the choice of either keeping, if she gets pregnant, which is really sad, a very young age, that she has the choice to do it or not, to keep the baby or not. Because at that point,
But you would provide her the resources,
Yes.
right? Like if she chose to carry the baby and maybe adopt the baby out, because I feel like in sometimes the case of rape,
yes,
there are women that keep their baby because they don't want to be victimized twice,
yes,
or they do want to just give their baby the chance at life with another family through adoption.
But let me reiterate, I have never seen somebody who was raped that they want to remove the baby. They always want to just get the baby adopted or go through it. But I think it hurts them if they go to another trauma. Because
Absolutely.
it's very traumatic. It's very invasive procedure, and it's also puts the blame on them.
So you're saying how many? Well,
Based on my experience,
these
though.
it's hard to get numbers off the top of your head, but do you think you've seen several cases where a woman has been raped and became pregnant, but you're saying you've never seen somebody go through with an abortion
Yes.
as a result of that pregnancy and rape?
Based on my experience,
Wow, that's amazing though.
It is.
it's very.
Gives you hope for humanity.
I think because the people who have experienced this, they're very young, and I guess when you're young, you think more life is valuable. So, and they don't want to end the life in their tummy.
Amen.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad you spoke into that. I know we kind of got off topic, and let's try to get things back on track here. You recently attended the March for Life in California. What city was that in, and how did that go?
Oh, that was amazing. It's in the capital, Sacramento, and there's so many people who came from different aspects, different religious background, and also people who are not religious. They also came, and they said it was like gonna be 90% it's gonna rain the time we started, and we were praying that during the whole time that they're gonna do all this, the speakers that is gonna stand there, that it's not gonna rain, but it's just, there was just sun, and then just like literally beaming to where we are and where the speakers. And I think for me, that was like divine intervention, because the whole time they were speaking, we did the singing and worship, there was just no rain.
Wow.
And then when we started raining, the opposition came. There's not a lot of them. I feel sad. They were like young people, I would say less than 10. Then it started raining when they came.
How many people do you think were there pro-life?
Thousands.
Wow.
It was a lot.
That's amazing.
It just it felt good being around people, right?
Amen.
Like people around
It does, and especially in a state in California. I mean,
Yes.
it's just incredible to see, and it's encouraging. It's
And it's
encouraging
Monday.
and it's Monday.
It's
It's
Monday.
encouraging to see all of those thousands of people being like-minded.
Wow, they did it on a Monday?
Yes, it was Monday too. So most of them like went home right after the march.
Wow.
Yeah.
They
So
did the
much-
bus, they used the
Did
bus.
they have a speaker?
Carpool. There's a lot of good speakers who came. Lila Rose was there. I met her group. They're amazing. California, Family Council was there. They're the one who are focused on the bills, and they teach you about how to, go and talk to the legislation.
And you've gone through that class.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about the process in Nevada, but I think it's kind of similar.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So.
And I think Ali Stuckey was there as well.
Yes.
who's
she
that?
wa-
Ali Stuckey? Oh, she's an amazing Christian conservative podcaster, and she's
Celeste, yeah.
she's wonderful. I recommend anybody to listen to her. She is
Awesome.
wonderful.
You learn something new every day. But you're going to be at our March for Life on March 25th,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Do you already have a team rallied up?
I do. A group of Love Life people are coming from California and other parts.
Amazing.
I know. I was surprised, and I met some people. Actually, I met some people from Nevada who went there too.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
yeah.
I'm glad to, and so I actually went out and I just started inviting other states to come to our
That's
March
good.
for Life as well. We're really hoping for a great turnout this year. We actually have a speaker lined up as well, Christy Hockle Davenport.
Oh, nice.
She is this wonderful woman that has Down syndrome, and her mother will be there as well.
I saw that.
And she's actually going to be on the radio with us next week. So make sure you guys tune in
Yeah.
next Thursday at 12:30 so that you can get a little sneak peek with Christy Hockle Davenport. She's an amazing woman with an amazing life story.
Yeah.
So anyhow, if you guys want to also get registered for our marches, only 9 days away, you can go to fcpsfriends.org and also get onto our social media, FCPS Friends on Facebook and YouTube, FCPS_Friends for Instagram and Twitter. And share about our March for Life with your friends and your family. You can do it either on social media or email. Everyone, we're almost down to the wire here already, out of time. But we would love to have you at our March for Life. Celeste, did you want to close us out with anything?
Well, it seems as our March for Life is on a Saturday, so more incentive to come down and bring all your families, bring your neighbors, bring everybody. Please donate. Please come and speak up for the voiceless.
That's right. It's your opportunity to take a stand
And I'll be
get
there.
active.
Yes, Grace and her family will be there. I'll be there. We'll be there. With registration, you'll be able to see our faces.
There's going to be lots of fun and games and activities, so I hope you all can make it down. Again, you can get registered scpsfriends.org. Everyone have a wonderful week. God bless. Thanks for joining your ambassadors for the unborn on the Fight for Life radio today and every Thursday on KKVV 1060 AM, the best news radio, the gospel airship.
If you'd like to support the cause of saving unborn babies, or if you have a question you'd like us to answer on the air, go to fcpsfriends.org or call us at 702-294-CARE. Again, that number is 702-294-2273.
On behalf of his little ones, thank you and God bless.